Yo guys, so with the new expansion announced and a variety of features showcased, something else that we have also been able to get a look at is the prologue to the novel Before the Storm, which is a book written by Christie Golden, going to be published in May, and which takes place after Shadows of Argus but before the events of World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth. Basically, this book will serve as a filler and explain the transition of events from Legion to Battle for Azeroth, much like War Crimes told the story of the transition from Mists of Pandaria to Warlords of Draenor. I'm really glad that Christie Golden is the one writing this book because her novels are always extremely easy to follow and they're pretty captivating and packed with a bunch of information pretty much in each page. So the prologue is featured on Wowhead if you guys do want to go ahead and take a look at it for yourselves, but in case you don't want to read it, I am going to go ahead and summarize the events of the prologue and then go on to say what I think about all of this happening. So the prologue basically features Sylvanas and Orgrimmar, and she is called there to inform the Horde as a whole of their victory, to make a formal announcement about the concluding events of our war with the Legion, and so that the people can be reminded of who their war chief is, Sylvanas. It would be strange to have a huge war to end with no formal acknowledgement by your leader. While she's still waiting to give the announcement, Nathanos Blightcaller, the one person that she truly trusts, arrives and tells her of the event revolving around the Undercity. Now, there is no place that Sylvanas would rather be than to be in the Undercity, but being war chief, that means that you're always preoccupied, so she can't always be where she wants to be at every point in given time. Instead, Nathanos was sent to the Undercity to monitor the status of her people and her city, but when he comes back to her, he comes back with bad news. In her absence, her people have felt neglected. They felt as they were the most loyal to her throughout all of this time, and they felt that she did not acknowledge this, due to her fighting on the Broken Isles. In the wake of these events, a group known as the Desolate Council has seized control and support of the Forsaken people, which is pretty bad news. No one knows what the council wants and no one knows what they plan to do, but those who achieve power are almost always going to be afraid to lose it. What's bad for Sylvanas, however, is that rumors of her acts in Stormheim to enslave Aegir and achieve immortality was also heard of by the Desolate Council, and they do not condone this type of behavior or what she tried to do as a whole. Although it is hard for Sylvanas to grasp, a lot of Forsaken do not want the same goal as her. They don't want to be immortal and they do not support what she did in Stormheim. When Sylvanas liberated the Forsaken from the control of the Scourge, she also allowed them to be able to think for themselves, to have free will. It is through free will that the Desolate Council are now proving to be an issue, since they seized power in the Undercity for themselves and disagree with many of Sylvanas' standpoints. Sylvanas sees this as a form of betrayal. She has bestowed the gift of free will onto her people, only to have them bite the hand that feeds, by using that gift to reject the gift of immortality that she wanted to achieve for her people in Stormheim. But that's pretty much all that there is when we talk about the Desolate Council. There's not too much information about them right now. After this, she is called outside to address the public, and here's where something really interesting takes place. Varrock Sourfang confronts Sylvanas and looks her dead on without blinking an eye. Sylvanas states that there is something in Varrock's stare that signifies that if she even so much as thought as stepping out of line and favoring her own interests over that of the Horde as a whole, then he would put her down, or at least try to. Keep that in mind for later. As she is walking through the city, preparing to address the people, she whispers to Nathanos that they will need funds and an army. Nathanos then asks her if she seeks to dissolve the Horde army that is returning from the war against the Legion, to which she responds by saying that she will not dissolve it, for in the future she is going to call them to battle against the war that has been prolonged for far too long. A faction war. In the last statement of this prologue, it is stated that Nathanos knows what Sylvanas wants, and that something is Stormwind. In various other sources, by the way guys, it is also confirmed that the burning of Teldrassil does in fact take place before the battle at the Undercity, but I'm not sure if Sylvanas is the one who instigates the faction war, even though it definitely is looking like it so far. First, I'll give my couple of reasons why she might do it, and then I'll give my reasons as to why she might not do it. Why she might? Well, in the prologue, she recalls the bombing of Theramore and even says that the only issue she had with this act was the time. She actually supported Garrosh's plan, well, not during the events of that time, but she didn't disagree with the notion of it. She also even tells Nathanos that she plans to keep the Horde armies intact and ready to mobilize, and that they need to build up their funds for another war campaign. Nathanos even knows explicitly that she wants Stormwind in particular in mind, and with the absence of the strong leader which has inspired confidence incidents and on certain occasions caused the tide in battles to turn into the favor of that of the Alliance, now would be a great time to in fact strike. But she also might not do this. Why not? It is the Garrosh 2.0. It is too repetitive for the Horde to constantly be portrayed as the antagonists and villains, especially when so many of them are noble and heroic as well. There's a lot of rational thinking characters in the Horde who might challenge her if she were to threaten the future of the Horde, and some of whom are Lor'themar, Bane, and Varrock. Now let's talk about Varrock. Having known that Sylvanas knows that Varrock would challenge her if she stepped out of line, and also having known that the events of Teldrassil take place before the events of the Battle of the Undercity in the Battle for Azeroth cinematic, if Sylvanas was truly responsible for instigating the war and being the first one to provoke the Alliance, then why would Varrock still be following her and have not had challenged her yet? In the Burning of Teldrassil artwork, we see a wounded elf next to Sylvanas, which most people speculate to be Varisa. People also believe that Sylvanas was the one to injure her sister, but why? One reason could be that she puts arrows in her sister so that she could burn the tree. If you get in Sylvanas' way, she'll put you down. Another reason could be is that there's a misunderstanding and that Sylvanas did not want the tree to burn, but instead wanted to warn the Night Elves or to stop it from happening. But ultimately, unclear motives caused sister to fight sister. I think that the latter is more likely because Varrock is also seen to be standing next to Sylvanas when she arrives at Teldrassil, and I don't think that he'd be down for Sylvanas flinging her joint at the tree and causing a big ass flame fest. Maybe the event is tied to the Desolate Council, and this whole war was instigated through their actions, and they were the ones responsible for the burning of the tree and the entire faction war that we are about to embark in. But this doesn't justify Sylvanas or put her in the clear by all means, because let's not forget, she also wanted the Horde to get ready for an assault on Stormwind based on the prologue to the novel. But that's pretty much all that I have to say right now, guys, regarding the initial events of the expansion. Things are looking pretty interesting so far, and I just love it when tensions between factions boil down. It's a damn shame Garrosh isn't alive to see this. But anyways, guys, what do you guys think? And also, please, guys, if I did miss something, please put it down in the comments below, and also take a note that this is being recorded on the 7th. If more information does come out in the time between me editing this video and me publishing it, just know that I am not a psychic, I don't have a crystal ball, and I cannot keep up with everything. Once again, guys, if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit the notification bell next to the sub button so you can stay caught up with the channel. And once again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you all later.